Nicholas Everhart was a billionaire used to controlling every part of his life, except when it came to his future wife, Isabella Laurent. Though admired by many, Isabella was unpredictable and wild. Traits his advisors warned would ruin their alliance. Determined to understand her better, Nicholas disguised himself as a security guard and entered her world quietly. He planned to observe her closely, to find the flaws he intended to fix before their marriage. But what he didn't expect was the kindness and strength he saw beneath her wildness, stirring feelings he had never allowed himself. As he watched her interact with the staff and laugh freely, his resolve began to shake. If you love stories about unexpected love and billionaires falling, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to follow every twist of Nicholas and Isabella's journey. This is only the beginning of a love that will challenge everything. In his new role, Nicholas quickly realized that life as a guard was far from easy, but it gave him a perspective he never had as a businessman. Isabella wasn't the careless woman his advisors painted her to be. She was generous and compassionate, always looking out for those around her. One afternoon, Nicholas saw her helping a tired gardener carry heavy bags, her hands steady and gentle. She smiled at him, unaware that the man she thanked was the very person she was meant to marry. Nicholas felt a pang of guilt, mixed with admiration. Could he think she needed fixing when she was already so much more than perfect? Every day, his heart softened just a bit more as he stepped deeper into her world. He reminded himself to stay focused on the mission, but he couldn't deny the growing connection between them. As the days passed, Nicholas discovered the small, unnoticed moments that revealed Isabella's true character. She comforted a scared child visiting the estate, held an injured bird in her hands, and laughed with the maids late at night. Each scene made him question the man he was becoming, torn between the mask of a guard and the real feelings rising inside him. The more he learned, the more he understood that fixing her was impossible and that perhaps she was the one transforming him. Yet he kept his distance, afraid to reveal the truth and risk losing everything. Behind the guard's eyes, a silent war raged between duty and desire, control and surrender. Nicholas was beginning to realize that love could not be forced, it had to be earned. Softly and patiently, Nicholas found himself watching Isabella more closely each day, noticing details no one else seemed to catch. She often stayed late helping with the estate's charity work, her eyes shining with quiet determination. One evening, he saw her comforting a grieving employee, her voice soft yet filled with strength. These moments challenged everything he thought he knew about her. Still, he wore his guard uniform like armor, hiding his real identity and his growing admiration. The loneliness of his secret weighed heavily on him, making every stolen glance both painful and precious. He wondered if she would ever truly know him beyond the disguise. But for now, he was content to learn who she was before revealing who he was. During a stormy night, a power outage swept through the estate, plunging everything into darkness. Nicholas was assigned to check the security systems, but instead, he found Isabella wandering the halls with only a candle in hand. She was searching for a frightened child who had run off in fear of the storm. Without hesitation, Nicholas joined her, their footsteps echoing through the silent mansion. The vulnerability in her eyes broke through his own defenses, making him see her as more than a future bride to fix. Together, they found the child safe and brought her back to comfort. That night, under flickering candlelight, Nicholas felt the first real warmth between them, one that couldn't be faked or controlled. Days turned into weeks, and Nicholas's double life grew harder to bear. He longed to tell Isabella the truth, but feared losing her trust forever. Instead, he focused on supporting her quietly, stepping in whenever she faced challenges. When a rival family tried to unsettle her, Nicholas was there, vigilant and protective, though always unseen. His respect for her courage deepened as he realized she faced more battles than anyone knew. She wasn't broken, she was strong in ways that money and power couldn't measure, and every time she smiled at him, unaware of who he was, his heart ached with both hope and despair. Nicholas was falling in love with the woman he thought he needed to fix. One afternoon, while on patrol, Nicholas overheard Isabella arguing with a business associate. Her frustration was clear, but so was her passion. She refused to let anyone push her around or define her worth. Watching her stand firm, Nicholas realized she wasn't a woman to be shaped or controlled. She was a force of nature, wild, fierce, and undeniably herself. That moment shattered his original plan completely. Instead of fixing her, he wanted to join her in fighting the world together. The guard uniform felt heavier than ever, a reminder of the lies he had yet to untangle. Yet hope flickered inside him, stronger than the fear of being rejected. Nicholas began to confide in Miguel, the head of security, about his growing doubts and feelings. Miguel warned him that mixing business with emotion could be dangerous, but he also saw the change in his friend. "She's not the one who needs fixing," Miguel said bluntly. "You are." Nicholas resisted at first, but couldn't deny the truth in those words. For the first time, he faced his own flaws, his pride, his fear of vulnerability, and his need for control. He began to understand that true love meant embracing imperfections, not erasing them. The guard had become a man transformed, but the real test was yet to come. One evening, Nicholas found Isabella alone on the terrace, looking out at the stars. He approached quietly, his heart pounding, unsure if he should reveal himself or keep the secret. Instead, they talked like equals, sharing dreams and fears without pretense. She spoke about her past struggles, the weight of expectations, and the loneliness beneath the glamour. Nicholas listened, humbled by her honesty and courage. In that moment, the distance between them shrank, replaced by something fragile and beautiful. He realized that no plan or disguise could prepare him for the love that was growing inside, and for the first time, he hoped she might feel the same. The following days brought unexpected closeness between them, though Nicholas still kept his secret guarded. He helped her navigate challenges, offering silent support while watching her blossom into the woman she was meant to be. Isabella noticed the kindness behind the new guard's eyes, but couldn't place the feeling. One afternoon, she caught him watching her with a softness that made her heart skip. The air between them charged with unspoken emotions neither dared to name. Nicholas struggled to maintain his facade, knowing the truth would change everything. But the longer he stayed in disguise, the harder it became to imagine life without her knowing who he really was. Nicholas could no longer ignore the growing feelings that tangled his thoughts day and night. The guard's mask was slipping, and every moment with Isabella chipped away at his carefully built walls. One afternoon, as they walked through the rose garden, he caught her hand in his gentle touch that felt like a promise. She looked at him, eyes wide with curiosity and something softer, but he quickly pulled away, afraid to reveal too much. "You don't know who I really am," he whispered, the truth heavy on his tongue. Isabella's gaze searched his face, sensing the weight behind his words. If you're enjoying this story of unexpected love and secrets, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt billionaire romances. The next days were filled with tension and silence between them, but Nicholas knew he couldn't keep living a lie. He began planning how to tell Isabella the truth, fearing it might destroy the fragile bond they had formed. Meanwhile, he continued to protect her quietly, ready to face whatever came next. Isabella, on her part, wondered about the new guard's strange behavior, sometimes warm and attentive, other times distant and guarded. She found herself drawn to him despite the confusion, craving honesty more than anything. Nicholas realized that the hardest part was not hiding who he was, but risking losing her trust forever. The man who came to fix a future wife was the one being changed instead. The heart never followed plans, it led where it wanted. One evening, Isabella invited Nicholas to a private family gathering, unaware of his true identity. Nicholas hesitated but accepted, hoping the closeness would help him find courage. At the party, he observed Isabella as she charmed guests effortlessly, her laughter lighting up the room. Yet beneath the surface, he noticed moments of loneliness and doubt he hadn't seen before. They talked quietly outside, sharing stories under the stars, and Nicholas felt a deep connection grow stronger. He wondered how he could ask her to trust him when he had already hidden so much. The night left him more determined to reveal the truth, even if it meant risking everything. In the weeks that followed, Nicholas struggled with his dual life. The guard's uniform felt suffocating, but his love for Isabella kept him grounded. He spent late nights writing letters he never sent, trying to find the right words to confess. Isabella's warmth and kindness had softened his once cold heart, and he feared losing this newfound happiness. Yet doubts still lingered. Would she forgive the deception? Would she understand the reasons behind it? The fear of rejection was real, but Nicholas knew that love required honesty, no matter the cost. His transformation was not just about her but about becoming a better man for both of them. A sudden crisis tested their fragile trust when Isabella's family faced a public scandal. Rumors spread, threatening her reputation and future. Nicholas stepped in quietly, using his influence behind the scenes to protect her. Isabella noticed the guard's unusual presence during tense moments and began to see him in a new light. His quiet strength and unwavering support surprised her, breaking through walls she hadn't known she built. She started to rely on him, finding comfort in his steady presence. Nicholas realized that love was not about fixing flaws, but standing together through storms. Their bond grew stronger, forged in vulnerability and shared battles. One night, Nicholas finally decided to share a small part of his truth with Isabella. Under the moonlight, he revealed that he was more than just a guard, that he cared deeply for her, beyond any duty. Isabella's eyes filled with tears, confused, yet touched by his honesty. She struggled to reconcile the man she thought she knew with the one standing before her. Their conversation was raw and honest, filled with questions and fears. But in that moment, the walls between them began to crumble. Nicholas saw the strength in her forgiveness and the hope of a love that could survive anything. They took the first step toward a future built on truth. The days after their conversation were filled with new challenges as they navigated their changed relationship. Trust had been shaken but not broken, and both worked to rebuild it slowly. Nicholas stopped hiding behind the guard's uniform, showing Isabella the man beneath a billionaire who had learned to love differently. Isabella, in turn, shared her dreams and fears openly, allowing Nicholas into her world without reservations. They laughed, cried, and fought together, discovering the depth of their connection. Their love grew not despite the past, but because of it. Each step forward was a victory, a promise to face the future hand in hand. Nicholas introduced Isabella to his world of wealth and power, but with a difference: he wanted her to feel safe and equal, not trapped or controlled. He showed her the estate not as a symbol of status, but as a place where they could build memories and dreams. Isabella, overwhelmed but hopeful, began to see a future she never imagined possible. Their nights were filled with honest conversations and quiet moments, the kind that stitched two hearts together. Nicholas learned to listen and trust, shedding his old need for control. Together they forged a new path, one of partnership and respect. The millionaire who once sought to fix was now being transformed by love. The couple faced their first public appearance together, a charity gala where their relationship would be under scrutiny. Nicholas was nervous, fearing judgment and gossip, but Isabella stood by him confidently. Their presence was electric, showing a united front despite the challenges behind closed doors. They danced, laughed, and shared whispered promises throughout the night. Observers saw not just a billionaire and his fiancée, but two people who had fought for their love. Nicholas realized that acceptance was not about perfection but authenticity. Their love story was becoming a beacon of hope, proving that transformation was possible for anyone willing to open their heart. Back at the estate, Nicholas and Isabella found peace in the simple moments away from the public eye. They cooked dinner together, shared books, and dreamed aloud of a life beyond the expectations that once bound them. The guard's disguise was gone, replaced by honesty and mutual respect. Nicholas marveled at how much he had changed, not because of wealth or power, but because of her heart. Isabella saw in him a man who was no longer trying to fix her, but to walk beside her. Their love was no longer a plan, but a living, breathing promise. And with every passing day, they grew closer, ready to face whatever came next. The quiet mornings together became the safest place Nicholas and Isabella could find amidst the chaos. They shared coffee and stories, slowly weaving trust where there was once doubt. Nicholas still remembered how fragile everything felt when he first stepped into her life, but now, her laughter was a balm for his restless soul. Isabella noticed how he had softened, how the man behind the billionaire mask was kind and real. She felt her heart opening in ways she hadn't expected, learning to let go of fears and embrace love fully. Yet both knew healing was a journey, with moments of vulnerability ahead. They promised to face every uncertainty hand in hand, building strength through honesty. Their future was no longer uncertain, it was theirs to create together. A surprise visit from Nicholas's business rival threatened to stir trouble in their fragile happiness. The rival aimed to exploit any weakness, casting shadows over Nicholas's reputation and, by extension, Isabella's. But instead of breaking them, the challenge united the couple even more. Nicholas stood firm, fiercely protective, while Isabella showed a courage Nicholas hadn't seen before. She confronted the rival with calm strength, surprising everyone around. Their bond deepened through adversity, proving that love was a fortress against the storms of life. Nicholas realized that Isabella's strength was never a flaw but her greatest gift, and in this battle, they found a new level of respect and passion. One rainy afternoon, Nicholas found Isabella in the greenhouse, tending to delicate orchids, with the same care she gave to people. Watching her, he saw a woman who was both fragile and fiercely determined. She looked up and smiled softly, unaware he had been watching. "I never thought someone like you could love me," she whispered. Nicholas stepped closer. "I'm not just someone, the man who's falling for you every day." Their hands met, and the world outside melted away. In that moment, neither wealth nor status mattered, only the truth between their hearts. They sealed the promise with a kiss, sweet and full of hope. Isabella's past caught up with her in the form of an old friend who arrived unexpectedly, stirring old wounds and fears. Nicholas listened patiently as she shared memories of pain and betrayal, feeling honored by her trust. The friend's presence tested their relationship, but also brought clarity and healing. Nicholas supported Isabella without judgment, proving he was there for all parts of her life. Together, they faced the ghosts of the past, turning pain into strength. Isabella realized that love wasn't about perfection but acceptance. Nicholas learned that real commitment meant embracing everything she was. Their hearts grew closer, woven with forgiveness and courage. The estate hosted a lavish celebration, marking Nicholas's latest business success. But instead of grand speeches and displays, Nicholas dedicated his success to Isabella, praising her resilience and love. Isabella felt a surge of pride and emotion, knowing how far they had come together. The crowd applauded, but their focus was only on each other. Later, alone beneath the stars, Nicholas promised to always cherish and protect her. Isabella smiled, knowing that their story was more than a fairy tale. It was real, imperfect, and beautiful. Their love was no longer about fixing or changing, but about growing side by side. They danced slowly, savoring every heartbeat and whisper of forever. A quiet afternoon brought a box of old letters from Isabella's grandmother, filled with stories of love and resilience. Nicholas and Isabella read the letters together, finding parallels between past and present. The letters reminded them that love was a journey, full of challenges and triumphs. They made a pact to honor the legacy by building their own story with honesty and strength. Nicholas felt humbled, understanding that wealth was fleeting but love was eternal. Isabella's heart swelled with hope, knowing that their bond was part of something greater. Together, they vowed to cherish every moment and face the future united. Their love story was just beginning to unfold. Nicholas surprised Isabella with a quiet getaway to a cabin nestled in the mountains, away from the pressures of their world. They spent days hiking, cooking, and simply being present with each other. Without distractions, their conversations deepened, revealing hopes and fears long hidden. Nicholas confessed his insecurities, and Isabella shared dreams she had kept to herself. The mountains echoed their laughter and tears, a sanctuary for healing and growth. They learned that vulnerability was the strongest foundation for love. The trip strengthened their bond, reminding them why they chose each other. As they watched the sunset, they knew their future was bright and full of promise. Back home, a surprise visit from Miguel, the head of security, brought news of a threat to the estate. Nicholas and Isabella prepared to face the danger together, blending strength and strategy. Isabella's calm under pressure impressed Nicholas, who saw her in a new light, capable, brave, and wise. Together, they thwarted the threat without drawing attention, proving their partnership was more than love, it was a team. That night, they celebrated quietly, grateful for each other's presence. Nicholas realized that love was not just about passion, but protection and trust. Isabella smiled, knowing she had found a partner who saw her worth. Their hearts beat stronger, ready for whatever came next. A rare day off found Nicholas and Isabella volunteering at a local shelter, connecting with people far from their world. The experience humbled them both and brought them closer. Isabella's compassion shone brightly as she comforted children and listened to stories. Nicholas admired her warmth and grace, feeling lucky beyond measure. They talked about building a foundation to help others, dreaming of a legacy beyond wealth. The day reminded them that love was about giving, not just receiving. Their shared purpose deepened their bond and fueled their hope for the future. Together, they dreamed of a life rich in meaning and love. That evening, Nicholas took Isabella to the estate's rooftop garden, decorated with soft lights and flowers. He knelt down and presented a new ring, one that symbolized not control but equality and respect. Isabella's eyes filled with tears. As she accepted, feeling the depth of his transformation, they promised to build a future where both could grow freely. No masks or secrets between them. The city lights sparkled below, mirroring the hope in their hearts. Nicholas whispered, "This is just the beginning." Isabella smiled, knowing their love was strong enough to face anything. Together, they stepped forward into a new chapter, united, honest, and whole. The following weeks brought a calm certainty to Nicholas and Isabella's life together. They shared quiet mornings and late-night talks, slowly shedding the fears of the past. Nicholas often reflected on how much he had changed, no longer the man trying to fix, but the man learning to love fully. Isabella saw in him a partner who respected her independence and dreams. Together, they planned a future without pretenses, built on trust and mutual support. Their love became a refuge from the pressures of their world. Each day was a gift, a chance to deepen their bond, and they faced every new dawn hand in hand, ready for whatever life brought next. Nicholas invited Isabella to meet his family. A daunting but important step, the gathering was filled with curiosity and cautious acceptance. Isabella's genuine warmth and honesty quickly won over even the most skeptical relatives. Nicholas felt proud, knowing she was truly becoming part of his world. The family's approval deepened their connection, adding layers to their commitment. Isabella realized that love wasn't about changing who they were, but accepting each other fully. Nicholas felt grateful to have found someone who challenged and inspired him. Their union was no longer just business or arrangement. It was real, lasting love. One afternoon, while exploring the estate's library, Isabella found a hidden diary, belonging to Nicholas's late mother. Reading her words revealed a side of him she had never known. Nicholas shared stories of his childhood and the pressures he faced growing up wealthy and alone. Isabella listened with empathy, feeling their hearts grow closer through shared vulnerability. They understood that their love was also about healing past wounds. The diary became a symbol of trust, a reminder that love could bridge even the deepest divides. Nicholas felt lighter, no longer bound by loneliness. Isabella smiled, knowing their journey was about more than passion, it was about soul connection. A sudden illness struck Isabella, shaking the foundation of their newfound peace. Nicholas stood by her side, fiercely protective and tender. The experience tested their strength, forcing them to face fears and uncertainties together. Isabella was comforted not just by medicine, but by Nicholas's unwavering presence. Their bond deepened as they navigated the fragility of life. Nicholas realized that love was about standing strong in the hardest moments. Isabella's resilience inspired him, reminding him why he loved her so deeply. Together, they faced the challenge with hope and determination. Recovery brought renewed appreciation. For life and love, Isabella's gratitude was evident in every smile and touch. Nicholas planned a surprise celebration, inviting friends and family to honor her courage. The event was filled with laughter, tears, and heartfelt speeches. Isabella felt surrounded by support and love, her heart full. Nicholas knew that their love had transformed them both. The celebration was not just a party, but a milestone marking a new chapter. Their journey continued, stronger and more beautiful than ever. With her health restored, Isabella threw herself into a new passion project, a foundation to help women facing challenges like hers. Nicholas supported her fully, using his resources to make a real difference. Together, they built something meaningful beyond their personal story. The foundation became a symbol of hope, resilience, and love. Isabella's dedication inspired everyone around her. Nicholas felt pride, not in wealth, but in the impact they created together. Their love had grown into a force for good, and in that, they found true fulfillment. As their public image grew, so did their commitment to authenticity. They spoke openly about their past struggles, encouraging others to embrace vulnerability. Their story became a beacon of hope for many. Nicholas and Isabella held events and talks, sharing lessons about love, trust, and transformation. They became more than a couple, they became leaders in a movement of honest love. Their message resonated, inspiring people from all walks of life. Nicholas felt grateful to have found a partner who shared his vision. Together, they changed not just their world, but the world around them. One evening, Nicholas surprised Isabella with a trip to the place where they first met, the estate garden. Under the stars, they reminisced about their journey, laughing at past fears and celebrating growth. Nicholas took her hand, promising to always choose honesty and love. Isabella smiled, knowing their future was bright and uncharted. They danced slowly, savoring the moment and the promise of forever. The night was a testament to their resilience and commitment. Nicholas realized that the greatest transformation was not in fixing, but in loving without conditions. Isabella's heart had truly transformed as the seasons changed. So did the depth of their love. They planned their wedding, simple yet elegant, surrounded by those who mattered most. The ceremony was filled with tears of joy, laughter, and heartfelt vows. Nicholas spoke of love as a journey, not a destination, promising to grow alongside Isabella. She returned the promise, honoring the man who had learned to love beyond control. Their union was a celebration of all they had overcome and all they would face together. Friends and family cheered as they sealed their vows with a kiss. Their story was no longer just theirs, it was an inspiration to all who believed in love's power. The honeymoon was a quiet escape, a time to be simply Nicholas and Isabella, away from expectations and roles. They walked hand in hand on the beach, letting the waves wash away old doubts. Nicholas thanked her for teaching him to love without masks, for showing him the beauty of vulnerability. Isabella smiled, grateful for a love that had transformed her life in ways she never imagined. As the sun set, they promised to keep growing, learning, and loving fiercely. If you loved this story of transformation and billionaire romance, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us tell more beautiful love stories every week. Their journey was just beginning, and so is yours.